What's up, guys? This is Jackson here. Today, I'll just be sharing my thoughts on a book I recently listened to. I also have a physical copy here. I, 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 I'd like to be more forgiving of this novel in particular. It's called The Surrendered, and it's by, I believe the pronunciation would be Uri Chengre. He's a faculty member at an Ivy League school, I believe, and he's written a number of books. And according to what we have here, a lot of the previous books that he'd written had really been regarded well. He received a lot of positive reception. And I had heard about this book in particular, The Surrendered, and I decided to give it a listen. And man, I regret to inform that I cannot recommend this book. It has a lot of potential and it had some moments of greatness. So the beginning of the book is really riveting. If you're looking to find just some information on perhaps what the on the ground situation was like on the Korean Peninsula in the early days of the Korean War in 1950, then this book in the first few chapters are really insightful. And then there's a couple other flashbacks that cut back to combat that was continuing on near the current day DMZ in the later stages of the war between 1950 and 1953. They were pretty interesting, talking about interactions with Chinese infantry forces and prisoners of war. But man, sadly, that's only maybe 30% of this book. And as you can see, it's a lot. There's a lot in this book, and it is not very good. There's some flashbacks that cut back to the Korean War and also towards World War II, when Japan was taking over vast expanses of the Chinese mainland. And those segments are really, really fascinating, really interesting, learning about the tension between communism and Western or more capitalist forces and factions. But I don't know why, but the rest of this book has a lot of weird stuff, and it's just, ugh, yeah. One of the main characters, I really can't. Okay, spoiler warning. There's a lot of just relationship dynamics that are really not very uplifting and really crazy, just not appropriate and pretty odd for the times. I mean, the book, a lot of it takes place in the 80s, and then everything else takes place in Korea during the Korean Wars, the 50s, and then before then, 40s, World War II, maybe 30s, right? And there's a lot of content in there that, especially with these relationships, that I just don't really see as being very feasible for the time period. And especially in Asia, a land that is, even today, extremely conservative, especially on social matters. And everything that happens with regards to that behind closed doors and all that feels insanely over the top. It would just seem to hint that each character has these passions that are just, it seemed to hint that any person on earth is capable of some very, very interesting things that we don't really need to discuss. And heck, for one of these characters is even the daughter of missionaries. And I mean, I know that missionaries certainly teach their kids to be chaste, right? I highly doubt that the daughter of these missionaries would be so quick to be not that. But again, when there's moments reflecting on the Korean War and other conflicts, it's really, really interesting. But everything else honestly feels right out of 50 Shades of Grey. So, yeah, this book, shy away from it. Perhaps the previous novels by this author are worth looking into. I might do that and let you know what I think. But frankly, I want my Audible credit back, and I'd have to give this book a D-. Thanks for listening. I know you might have had something else going on, but I appreciate you listening to my thoughts on this book, and you can read it if you'd like, but frankly, I can't recommend it. Something personal against this author. I'm sure he's very well accomplished, especially since I verified he's teaching at Princeton University. But it seems that perhaps this just wasn't his best effort. But if you want to hear more from me, then by all means, just can subscribe to my channel. I don't know how consistently I'll be uploading, but I'm starting up this new gig. So until then, I guess, peace out.